2 months into PlayStation Plus's improved services, and I thought it might be a good time to take a look at what's actually on there. There's over 400 games in its repertoire, so let's find the cream of the crop. Now, these are just the ones that I personally think that you should be out there playing, but they're pretty good, so you should probably listen. Some of the most absolutely banging, creative, and cinematic experiences that you can have. There's a lot of options here. They got everything from Grand Theft Horse 2 all the way over to Viking Man Stabby McSteely. I had a lot to work with, but I think the 10 games I selected here are more worth your time than anything else on there. And as the realest gamer out there, I, Andrew Hamilton, am happy to provide my 10 must-play games on PlayStation Plus. Fighting games have come a long way since the PS1 days. Newer fighters have an insane amount of nuance to them, hundreds of moves to learn, and giant rosters to master. But Tekken II started this ascent by being one of the only games in its genre at the time to have combos that a normal human being could actually pull off. Now, it's not the most technical game out there, but it is one of the best feeling. Insane moon gravity, absolutely nonsensical movesets. This game is really not trying to sell you on the realism of the martial arts. Rather, it excels in providing the fun of throwing hands in the first place. Maybe more iconic to me than the characters, although Kazuya's smile does haunt me to this very day and I see it every time I close my eyes, is the absolutely slamming soundtrack. Where most fighters say combat is full of punches and kicks and therefore should be full of techno guitar beats and thumping drums, Tekken 2 says, nah, that's nonsense. How about if I bring in a jazz piano and play it alongside this flute and saxophone like this is an evening jazz club? Then you got Yoshimitsu coming in here with his alien and demon sword play, bringing in drunk man level energy, swinging that sword around like a crazy person. But even more alien and demonic, I guess, than that is his theme. No right, no here. Tekken 2 is where the genre found a gateway for newer gamers of lower skill or casual gamers to join in the fight. It's just a classic Tekken good time, and you should be downloading it already. I'm gonna throw you off a freaking volcano. 2017's Prey from Arcane Studios is a masterclass in suspense and sci-fi based dread. Its blend of psychological horror mixed with puzzles and maze-like level design make every step low-key, agonizingly suspenseful. Investigating a space station to uncover the truth of what happened there, as well as the truth of your employer, leads you into confrontation with some of the most highly creepy creatures you're ever going to run into. Mimics are especially nasty, as these spindly little spider jerks can take on the form of everyday objects, turning the game into a high-stakes version of I Spy. Brilliant storytelling, terrifying combat situations, and an ambient sound design that creates a densely packed atmosphere of terror, coupled with some truly wacky powers, make Prey an absolute must-play. Especially since I know that most of you didn't play it when it came out. Do you want nice things? Because that's how we get nice things. You gotta play the nice games so they'll make more cool experimental games, and we'll get more of this kind of stuff. So just go play it. Go play it right now. Download it. Are you doing it? Do it. Before there was Ellie and Joel, or Nate and Sully, there was Jack and Daxter. Not two guys out there trying to make an incredibly dangerous buck finding ancient artifacts, or even just two people who needed each other more than they realized in a doomed world. No, this is just a guy and his friend who was turned into a weasel? Is it maybe like a weird otter? It doesn't matter. Anyway, this is an absolute classic of the Naughty Dog variety, with popping color, goofy dialogue, and some solid 3D platforming. Jack and Daxter holds a special place in my heart and also holds a special fear to my soul, because when I think of this game, I hear this. And like the sound leading up to Sonic drowning, it brings me way more anxiety than I care to admit. Jack is a man of few words, so it's not likely that he was able to beg for his life in this moment. But luckily, Daxter doesn't know when to shut the hell up, so I'm sure he had it covered. There's lots of quips in the game, all kinds of fun characters to meet, and a lot of side questing to do. Collect relics, precursor orbs, and all the colors of the eco rainbow to save the sages and the world at large. If you like platformers, you should definitely give this one a try. There's just not a lot of games out there that let you be artistic if you're not already kind of artistically inclined. And that sucks, because there's a special joy that comes from feeling that creative energy flow. Sometimes the artistic ability doesn't quite match up to what the imagination is capable of, and Concrete Genie is there to fill in those gaps. It lets you do all of that in spades. Paint the walls of the city with beautiful colors, fantastical looking plants and creatures, and bring back the light to this shadowy world. You can show the main characters bullies the errors of their ways with, your own unique genies that you get to create and help develop independent abilities and personalities. It's a lovely experience from start to finish, and honestly, it's one I'd recommend for most anyone. You can even draw using the built-in motion controls on the DualShock and DualSense controllers, so you don't have to be proficient with the thumbsticks if you don't want to be. Give this one a try if you're looking for something to just chill out and get creative with. It's totally worth it. One of the most surprising games from last year was Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy from Eidos Montreal. It had an uphill battle ahead of it. For one, it was a new take on a beloved group of superheroes, made even more difficult by the fact that it wasn't based on the MCU movie versions, though I'm not really sure why people seem to think that would be the case, because why would they put themselves in that situation? Secondly, it followed Crystal Dynamics' poorly received Marvel's Avengers game. A bad time full of grinding and poor post-launch content, though the game's story was pretty good. But man, this game is flarkin' great. High-octane combat with a full team dynamic at play, allowing abilities to chain together, really driving home that companionship and history of the crew. Fantastically over-the-top performances across the board, and while this game is incredibly wordy, I never got really tired of listening to the conversations or being part of the group. Rarely a moment of silence is something I would normally use to describe something that highly irritating, but the writing on here is so stellar that it rises above that. The story never quite goes in the direction that you're expecting, and small choices throughout the game actually end up having meaningful impacts on story beats.
It's all for one and one for all, and that's exactly how we win this time. Who's with me?
I mean, being Spider-Man is just one of the coolest things you can do in a video game, and nailing that feeling of acrobatic, superpowered combat, fluid and dynamic web swinging, while still providing a great representation of what makes Peter Parker the man behind the mask, that's the trickiest part of the whole thing. Insomniac Games' SpiderMan is a perfection of this. A lovingly crafted story and beautifully detailed New York provide the perfect backdrop for a slightly older Spider-Man as he takes on some of his most iconic villains. There's also some new villains here. Mr. Negative shines in that regard, bringing a new type of threat with him, and a group that actually feels like they might survive in a fight against the dude who punches through walls and stops cars that are driving 80 miles per hour with his bare hands. Adding creative gadgets to the combat offers a ton of variety in the already astonishing gameplay. The cast of characters from the police chief to Mary Jane are all fantastic and gloriously heartfelt, but man, there's just nothing like this sensation. You just can't beat it. It's the best part of the game. I mean, there's no denying that. On top of that, this version includes all of the incredible DLC. Miles Morales is on here as well, providing his story and ascent to Spider-Mandom a cinematic experience. His bioelectric abilities give him a unique feel in fights and allow for more creative problem solving and puzzles. It's another excellent cast here and a story that is gripping from start to finish. Now go get him, Tiger. Next, a Metroidvania game to redefine the genre, with a haunting atmosphere, intense boss fights, difficult platforming, and a story that will make your heart say, "Why would you put me through this?" Hollow Knight is to the Metroidvania genre what Dark Souls is to 16-year-olds who just got into PC gaming, the highest form of the art. Elegant but eerie music pervades the world of Bug Boys and offers some top-tier boss soundtracks too. If you love to challenge your skills, this is the game for you. Play it now, so you can finish it just in time for the DLC to release in like 2033 or whatever. Amongst the sweeping vistas of the island of Tsushima, a Mongol invasion begins, wiping out nearly every samurai on the island. Jin Sakai is the lone survivor, and now he must rescue his uncle, help the people of Tsushima, and stop the Mongols. The question that Jin has to ask himself, though, is he willing to sacrifice his honorable samurai code in order to become what this war needs, a ghost. He must, oh, where you go? The yellow bird means that there's something cool in that direction. What if it's like a really cool sword? I mean, I feel like the Mongols aren't going anywhere, right? Yeah, they're not going anywhere. I got time. I'm gonna follow the yellow bird. Yep. Worth it. And then we go back to wah! Stylish, weighty combat makes every encounter into a cinematic masterpiece. Beautiful, brush-touched environments feel like they flowed straight off the concept art, and the soundtrack, oh my god, don't even get me started on the beautiful soundtrack. It's so gorgeous and it sends chills straight down my spine and just makes me, ooh. They got the whole package here for you. They even included the whole Iki Island expansion, offering you the chance to truly master this game and become the ultimate Monkey King. Ghost of Tsushima is one of my all-time favorite experiences, one of the best PlayStation exclusives, and you should be playing it if you haven't already. And you should be petting the foxes, and the deer, and the cat, and the monkeys. Pet all the animals. A non-stop bloodbath in pursuit of a never-ending vengeance. That was the story of Kratos in God of War 1 through 3. A man turned god, betrayed by his deity family, put into a constant state of rage. This jived well with the state of games back in that time period where carnage and violence reigned supreme as the marks of a great action game. But fast forward years later, in the industry, and its games have matured beyond that as a driving narrative force. 2018's God of War from Sony Santa Monica is a matured story. One of a father who wants his son to not just have a better life than his own, but to live up to that better life by being a better person than he is. It deals with rage, grief, the lies we tell ourselves, and the truths that we have to accept. Brutally, fantastically crafted combat with a satisfying heft to it makes this way more nuanced than the hack and slash of its past. Plus, now you've got the axe. Oh, the Leviathan axe. It comes back to you and you can do this thing with it. Look at it, watch. And then you hit the boy button and he says, "Sure thing, Dad." And he shoots his crazy magic arrows. It never gets old. Love it every time. And then you got Bear McCreary showing up out here and he said, "Oh, you want to feel Kratos in the room with you? Yeah, no problem." And he whipped out this damned masterclass in scoring. Truly, this is one of the greatest stories ever told in gaming. And it's available for free. Well, you know, it's available with the service here. It's simply a must play. And our number one pick is the Cat Simulator game. Alright, well, it's a little more complicated than that. Stray is a new adventure game from Annapurna Interactive in which you play as a cat and just hold on. Oh, yeah. That's good. Right, anyway, you're doing cat things in a world devastated by creatures called Zerks. Now separated from your feline family, you must partner up with the mysterious robo-assistant named B12. Solve mysteries, get this thing out of here, that's to get that off my ledge, I don't want that. If you didn't want it to be knocked over, you shouldn't have put it up here. Why'd you put that up here? What were we talking about? Oh yeah, being a cat, even in a dystopian world, is charming as hell and so much fun. The story is compelling and well-paced, and I love every single robot friend I've made, which is why I think I'm gonna curl up here in 4K quality and take a quick nap. You should play Stray. Go be cats. It's nothing scary here. So much fun. All these amazing titles and so much more are available to stream or download on PS Plus Extra and Premium right now. I really hope you guys found something new to play today or a new favorite, so let me know in the comment section what your recommendations are, and let me know if any of my recommendations landed for you. I'll have a companion video for this covering the Xbox Game Pass games in the coming days, so don't worry, Xbox friends. You're next. If you like the content that we make here, please consider subscribing. It helps us out tremendously and makes us able to do more with this channel. Until next time, I've been Andrew Hamilton.